Now I've skipped a step on this process. Now when you start, you have this panel here, which will have 2 screws using a Phillips head.
This is fixed focus, by the way.
This is crossed.
Okay.
Okay. They will be here and here. You remove those, ideally having a cup or something.
Right.
This panel will just drop. Because it's only these 2 screw holes that hold it in place, so gravity just holds it up. Putting this aside, take our ratchet with a 5/16 bit on the end, and then here and here behind this rail there are 2 bolts with hexagonal heads on them. Now we want to remove these. If I can get these ones are already loose, so I can just pull these out. As you can see, it's a hexagonal head, which fits clearly into that. Other one. Awesome. These are only finger. Okay. Now at this step, you pull and lift.
Pull and lift.
And there will be a cable connected here.
Cable connected there.
Yeah. This is for the
electric.
Yeah, because you have your little plug here. Otherwise, the bastard won't work.
Gotcha.
Now this thing, there's a little clip right here. If you want to zoom in on that or get close.
Zoom, fixed focus.
See where my thumb is? Yeah. You press down on that and pull. You want to press to release this little bastard here. Now you're free to lift the device away.
Sweet deal. Making
sure not to drop these little bastards out.
Gotcha.
Putting that aside. The next step is this front panel you remove, which has 2 of those earlier hexagonal heads located approximately here and here. So you're going to want to take those off, making sure to adjust your wrench so it'll take them off. These should come off pretty easily because you're just dealing with sheets of metal, not thick bits of metal. Making sure to always put them in a container or something like that, so you don't make your life hell by losing your bolts later.
Gotcha. Practical sound advice.
It's called not fucking yourself. Although, you know, if you're good, why not fuck yourself? I mean, oh, that's so inappropriate. Now, sometimes these will be hard to get out. As you can see, it wants to give a little bit of play as I loosen it. So if you push against it, it will make it easier to loosen. Now that that's moved and lost, get that in a minute. This panel here, you remove by lifting
up and away.
Then out. See if I can find that piece that went flying up. There it is. Thank God. Okay, if you want to get down to this level. Okay. Now, the problem when it goes off its mountings is these bastards right here. There are 3 of them. Now, you can't see it clearly because of the cover, but there's a piece of metal right here. Now, this threads to the shock itself, sort of like a screw. You can't really see it because there's a sheath on it, but imagine this is a nut, and this is the bolt that goes down into it.
Okay.
Now, when this problem occurs where it plops off, typically this is separated. Now, if you zoom into the back here, you can see where that has happened. How that is threaded to hold the piece. Right here. Let me take that. Okay. This is your busted shock right here. This is a healthy good one. So this piece right here needs to be lifted up and inserted into this spring,
That's a simple fix.
which is like your nut. Now, ideally, this is a two-man job, but you can do it by yourself by lifting the, or if you would just want to, yeah. Well, you need to go back. This is the drum, so
you lift the drum.
So by basically pulling and lifting back, you raise the original piece inside there.
That's correct. So you raise it up and then you fit it into the hole?
Yeah. Now I can probably do this one hand. You want to see what I'm doing. Now, you want to force the spring under so it starts to thread with the shock.
That makes sense.
When you have it properly lined as such, you can grab the base and just rotate it around. As I said, treat this like a nut and bolt, and voila. Now make sure at this point to check all three of them. As I can see, this one is clearly done, that one is done, but this back one, which is behind the motor itself, which is a bitch to see, has come somewhat loose, but not all the way. The key is to get your arm under the thing, then rotate it. Now at this point you want to make sure that your other ones have been firmly checked, because although the drum does not weigh a shitload, it will not be your friend when it lands on your arm. Now that I have them fully tightened, all I have to do is reverse the process of putting the panels on. Starting, if I don't break my toe, starting with our first panel, there are two gaps here and here, square ones, which will line up to these hooks on either side. To make your life easy, put it in on an angle.
Put it in on an angle.
And line your hooks up with the holes.
Line hooks up
Which
with
is
the
a
holes.
lot easier said
Then
than done. That's that side. And there's the other.
Cool.
Now,
Experts.
it will hold in just as such. Then, we put our hexagonal bolts back in.
Make sure it goes the other way.
Well, yeah, no shit. Hand tightening is the best to start out. Now, you don't want to tighten these up yet. Now, I want to put in this one. Now, if you come take a look, that is now lined offset. This will happen because it's just sheet metal.
Right.
Now, by putting my finger and thumb, I can just reline it and put it back in.
Gotcha.
That is the reason I don't want to tighten these all the way till I get them both in. And it might be a bastard to do. But once you get it started, it's all good.
Gotcha.
And then you're going to take your wrench after you've hand tightened both sides and just finish up the process. And the other side. And that side's done. Now we put the top panel back on.
Reattaching the electronic piece.
One would argue, unless you don't want your washer to work.
As intended anyway by the manufacturer.
Yeah.
That sound
Isn't a bad thing, it's just these little clippy hinges. The parts I was telling you not to drop out.
That's right.
They're easy to fit back in. You can use your logic. They're just a pain in the ass. Now, these have little clippy guides, so you want to get it to about here, and then push it in. Well, it should be good. Making sure that you're lined up. And as you can see, this is relatively lined up. Before, it was like that.
Right.
So now we know we've got a good line up. This is really where you're going to make sure using this ring.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, that isn't perfect,
Right.
but it's 90% of the way. Now, we take our other 2 hex bolts, which I somehow managed to get one jammed up under there.
Oh, really? We did that for you.
Awesome! Being creative.
Oh, no, we already had some, at least some for dinner.
See if I can use that to fish that up.
Need some help?
No, I almost got it. I was just stupid on that particular bit. This is why you use a cup. Use a cup. As you saw, I got this jammed up under there.
To use
Because
a cup.
I was not using my brain and not using a cup. I was just being lazy. Use a frickin' cup.
That goes for sports as well.
Unless you don't like children. Or talking with a deep voice. Now this one, yet again, you're going to want to put these in and then hand tighten them
Hand
before
tighten.
you do them the rest of the way.
Before you do the rest away.
The reason for that is, like earlier, so everything lines up. Although you are going to have to do this blind, so you're going off your sense of touch.
Okay. So don't do this with Novocaine on your fingers.
One would argue. And don't get too frustrated if you drop bolts down the back. This does happen. Rah. I hate you so much, and your mother, and your father. Get in there. Get in the hole.
Are you too good for your hole?
Now that's hand tightened. We go in with our little ratchet.
Going with a little ratchet.
And so much in life, it's about finding the hole and using your little ratchet.
About finding the hole, huh?
Poor thing.
I heard that.
If she says it's an okay size, she's lying.
Uh-oh. Too much cheesing around.
It's not too exciting.
Okay. Okay, that's good enough.
Okay.
These ones don't have to be super tight. Makes your life easier if they're a little loose, because if you've broken it like this, you're going to do it again.
That's right.
Small capacity washer, small loads.
That's right. No rugs.
Well, you can do rugs if they're small rugs. And you like doing this particular repair.
Yes.
Only if you like doing this particular repair.
Small rugs that don't hold too much moisture.
Now you're going to want to make sure this stupid little black thing on this panel, which just comes right off,
Mm-hmm.
is lined up. Otherwise you will not
The lip at the back
get your
needs to be lined up.
screws lined up.
Gotcha.
With your 2 Phillips heads, that's the one with the little X,
Mm-hmm.
and insert those. If I can get it in the hole, why doesn't she love me? Why won't she let me put it in? There we go. Or not.
Gravity, why must you be so cruel?
Oh. I don't have the black thing lined up right.
Ah.
Yay!
User error.
You know what? I don't like you. Your mom doesn't like you. We have talked about how your mom doesn't like you and your parents don't like you and no one likes you. And then we throw the car at you.
Really?
Yes.
When did
We had
this?
to rent the Hulk for the day.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm lined up properly. This should work. I did that on purpose.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
See if I can get the line up. And I'm gonna have to get that Phillips head.
Oh, you had that here?
Oh, just give me half a sec. Take a look. See where they are placed, so you know for future reference.
Right there. Right there.
Now we take our Phillips head.
Yay,
pointy bit! Insert it in and finish this off.
Up to the right and faster.
Kinda. Except for she doesn't pay enough. What? Now, if you're confused at this point, I had already done this when we started. So there, it's done. You just saved yourself $150. Oh my God.
15 minutes and $30 later.
Pretty
Thank you
much.
very much.
Have a good day.